Good evening, everybody. I'm Keanna Faircloth, host of The Pulse and Afternoon Jazz, Monday through Friday from 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time on WBGO. And I am always super excited to bring you another edition of The Pulse. But today, it's become sort of a tradition now to have the finalists of the world-renowned, prestigious Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition hosted by NJPAC is going to be happening this coming Sunday, November 14th. And there are 5 phenomenal finalists this year. And I do not envy the judges. Now, the judges this year being Renee Rosnes, former Sarah Vaughan Jazz Vocal Competition winner Jasmia Horn, WBGO's own president and CEO Steve Williams, as well as John Pizzarelli and Sheila Jordan. Wow. So these contestants are going to be performing in front of the world's finest. And I'm sure they are ready for it. It's going to be hosted by WBGO's own Grammy Award winning Christian McBride, along with NEA Jazz Master and multi-Grammy Award winning Diane Reeves. It's going to be an evening that is just going to be incredible. The prizes: first prize, cash reward of $5,000. Hello. Second prize, $1,500, and the third prize being $500. But it's not about the money. It's really about everything that comes along as a result of winning the Sarah Vaughan Jazz Vocal Competition. Some of the former winners include Jasmia Horn, which I mentioned, also Lauren Talese, Samara Joy, and last year, wow, there were 2 first place winners, a tie, the first time in history, between Gabrielle Cavassa and Miss Tawanda Susbrick Joaquim. And so this year, the competition, as always, is going to be very stiff. And so I'm going to bring on the finalists one by one here to introduce you to them. Here they are. We'll start with Miss Arta Jekabsone. Hi.
Hello.
How are you? Welcome to the Pulse.
Thank you. I'm doing great.
I'm so glad. Let's bring on Miss April May Webb. Hi.
Howdy.
Welcome back to the Pulse. You are no stranger here.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. We'll also bring on Miss Andrea Miller. Hi, Andrea.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. Welcome to the Pulse.
Thank you. I'm excited.
We're going to bring on next Mr. G. Thomas Allen. Hi, Thomas.
Hey, ladies. How are you?
Good.
Welcome to the Pulse.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And last but certainly not least, Miss Vik Gečytė.
Bonjour. It's a great pleasure to meet you all and to be here at the Pulse.
Yes, welcome back. We'll get into that once again, but Miss Vik Gečytė is no stranger to the Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition. She actually competed in 2019, and so she's back again, and we'll talk all about that. But let's get started here. I want you all to introduce yourselves to the Pulse audience here. Tell us where you're from, where you're currently living as well. We'll start with Arta.
So originally I come from Latvia, but for the past 7 years I've been living in New York and kind of was moving back and forth between Jersey City and New York, Brooklyn, Harlem, everywhere. But I'm back currently back in New York. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Miss April May Webb.
I am originally from a little bitty old town in Newton, Kansas, but I made my way up to New Jersey, and that's where I'm located right now in Edison, New Jersey.
Awesome. You're almost a neighbor. Andrea. Now, Andrea, you go ahead and tell us who you are first.
Okay. My name's Andrea Miller, and I'm originally from Salem, Oregon, born and raised there. And now I live on the West Coast. I think I'm the only one representing the West Coast this year. I'm in Orange County, California. So that's
awesome. Sunny California.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Andrea, you're kind of back this year. You didn't compete last year because of COVID and all the madness of the panorama, I like to call it. But you're back again. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be back, and it was a hard decision last year to not get on the plane and come, but I just wasn't ready yet. So, but now I am. So I'm excited.
Totally
Excited to meet everybody too.
Yeah, totally understandable, and just awesome that you're able to call yourself a finalist yet again. So that's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Thomas.
Yeah, so G. Thomas Allen. I'm from Danville, Virginia, a small little city in Virginia. I like to say it's a city of a lot of food and churches. So you can't go wrong with that. But I'm currently in Chicago, the Windy City. I've been here for about 7 years.
Awesome. I know a few folks from Danville, Virginia.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
I'm from DC myself, so that's
Yeah, it's
kind of
all
like the DMV in a way, kind of. All right, Miss Vik Gečytė.
Thanks, Keanna. I was born and raised in the capital of Lithuania, one of the Baltic states. It's up north in Europe, a small country of 3 million people. And my hometown is called Vilnius. So I left to study in the United States. And then I moved to Paris 13 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I call my home today. I just flew in and I'm in Eastern Pennsylvania connecting right now.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm so happy to see you back and competing here, Vik. And, just like Andrea, it must be an honor for you to have made the cut yet again. What brings you back to the Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition?
Andrea, you want to go first?
Oh, well, just the opportunity to I think I entered the competition in 2016, and then I didn't, and then I did again, and it's just exciting, and the opportunity to perform and be heard on a bigger and wider platform, and then also get to meet other people that I wouldn't get to normally meet and hear, and just it's more about the opportunity of the whole experience. I think is just so exciting, and to be able to go to the concerts that we get to go to as part of the James Moody Jazz Festival. I'm excited about that, and playing with the trio, and just the whole 4 days and 4 nights. I'm really excited, grateful.
Awesome. And what about you, Vik? You're back again competing, and why? Why have you returned? What is it that you hope to gain from the competition?
So I agree with Andrea that it's a lot about the experience and the exposure, right? Because we just heard the names and all the setup. It's really impressive to see the crowd, the judges, the community. For me, it's really a special moment because most of you guys, you live in the States, and this is the birthplace of jazz. It's the way that it's played here and the way that people relate to jazz is very different. I come from a country that has a phenomenal jazz audience, even though we're very far away. And Paris is like the New York of Europe in the sense of just how many musicians and talented jazz musicians come through. But it's nothing like being here in the nest of all that tradition and being connected with the community, with the musicians. I think it's a very special moment. So for me, it's an honor to be back.
Awesome. That really just speaks to the fact that jazz really is so far reaching. It's a universal language. This competition brought in entries from over 25 countries. And so I'm curious to know, we'll start with Arta for this one. How did you find out originally about the Sarah Vaughan Jazz Vocal Competition?
Oh, that is actually like an interesting question. I think since like I was a kid, like I've always like done a lot of like competitions because I always just like I loved being like inside of the environment, like making music because I know as both like Vik and Andrea was already like saying you meet people, like you have the opportunities. So as a kid, like I always just like was doing these competitions, and then when I turned 16, I switched more like to singing jazz music and getting like exploring jazz music, I would say. And
What were you
then
singing originally?
sorry, again.
What type of music were you singing originally before jazz?
Before jazz, it was like more. As I come from Latvia, I would sing a lot of like folk songs. We have like a very rich folkloric tradition back in Latvia. Also, like that is Latvia like known for the big song and dance festival that happens like every 5 years. Yeah, and yeah, and so I was like singing like folkloric music, studying classical violin, doing like more pop Latvian pop music.
Oh,
And yeah, then later on like I was introduced to jazz music like by attending like workshops with Mr. Gerald Clayton and like
oh,
all
nice.
different people, and that's how I got introduced to jazz. But yeah, so like since I did the competitions like since I was little, and then when I was exposed to jazz, then I started to like find out like about more about jazz competitions, and like three of them, like the biggest ones and kind of like a dream for me was Vaughan competition, then also Montreux jazz voice competition,
Oh, yes.
and also Thelonious Monk competition, which I think like now is renamed as Herbie Hancock, if I'm
That's
not mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you have a new project which came out this year called is it Letters from Home?
Letters to Home. Yeah.
Letters from Home, which sort of incorporates, your background and where you come from and all of that.
Yes. Yeah, I talked about like the. I mean, there's a like lot of topics that I kind of like covered, but like one of them was about like sense of belonging. Like, since I'm also coming from a different place, like how it is like um, to be here, and like most of the letters that I had, but basically were people from Latvia who like emigrated here to United States, and like how their lives were, like back at that time. So it was a really challenging and interesting experience. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, April, how did you first find out about the Sarabon competition?
I think it's something, especially being in New Jersey, being in the area, it's something that everybody, if you're singing jazz, you know about it. So,
Yes.
yeah, and interesting enough, like I've been entering into this competition since 2015. So,
Really? I didn't know.
yeah, 6 years straight. And so when I got that email, I about fell on the floor.
Yes. It's all about timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really grateful to be here and to be in the midst of such great caliber musicians, and just ready to have a good time and just be embraced by the culture and the music and keep it swinging.
Keep it swinging.
Indeed.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Andrea.
I've been trying to think as everybody else was talking here. I don't know how I've actually first heard about it, but I know I entered in 2016, and I don't know if somebody told me about it or what happened, but I found out about it. But I remember last year, like getting the email, April. It was October 2020, so it was we'd been in quarantine at the beginning of the year, and I decided to take a drive on PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, down south and just pull over. And I was staring out at the ocean and just like, oh, okay, I'm going to make it. The world didn't end, and not everybody, but everybody's going to be okay in the big picture. But it was sad, and it was just a day that I decided to get out, and then I looked at my phone and I got the email when I was sitting there. So it was just this, and then it didn't turn out that I went, but all the more reason just to be super stoked for this year. And I think like April, I've entered 3 times, I think.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I've entered before. So, yeah. So.
Yeah, that's a testament. You got to keep on knocking until the door opens. Awesome. What about you, Thomas? How did you first find out about the competition?
You know, you're giving me enough time to think it through. And,
Uh-huh.
it's always sort of been on my radar just because I'm in academia, so
Right.
not even just for myself, but for my students and sort of helping them sort of get a gauge of the pulse of sort of what's happening
I love
in the
it.
different
Timely.
genres. Yeah, yeah, but actually, I put out an album last year and I was submitting one of the songs for international, like, songwriter competition, and it came up in my feed. So I guess it's tied to like the search engine optimization. I think it's called SEO or
Yeah.
GEO. I'm not a tech guy, so if
Yeah.
that's wrong, someone
I believe
correct
it's
me.
SEO.
Yeah, yeah, it's like yeah. So it sort of came up in my feed, and I was like, okay, is the universe, is God telling me something? Because it really wasn't on my. Like I said, I followed it for years, and some of the winners I follow, and I've crossed paths with, sort of in my career. And I think someone said this earlier. It really was just the right time. It was really
Mhm.
just the right time. It just sort of happened. This was my first time entering, so when I got the email, I was totally like, what? But I'm just excited to be here and grateful and looking forward to connecting with everyone.
Indeed. And you're an educator, Thomas, as well.
Yeah, yep. So I serve on the voice faculty at Columbia College in Chicago. I'm also over the jazz and contemporary vocal track at Shy Arts, one of the top high schools in Chicago. And
Wow.
it's hard to juggle that, but luckily with the hybrid teaching model, I've been able to get through it.
That's awesome. Well, kudos to you. I know many of you are juggling many hats. We'll get to that in just a second. But Vik, I wanted to get to you as well. If you didn't already answer, how you first found out about the competition.
I remember very well because, unlike Arta, I have not been excited about competitions ever in my life. And the way that it came to me was my friend and many years colleague here in on the East Coast, bass player Gene Perla. So we've been
Yes.
touring with him for years and playing. And he said, "Well, why don't you, just for the experience, the fun, why don't you enter this competition? It's coming up in the fall." And I said, "Ah." And in the end, I did, because for the thrill, for the just to see what it would happen. And so I ended up in the finals. And I was very lucky because Didi Bridgewater was on the jury that year, and she handed me the third prize. It was a special moment. Yeah, and that was the year where Samara Joy took the
Yes.
first prize, and she's doing great. So it's wonderful to see. I kept in touch with some of the contestants. It was a beautiful experience.
Indeed. Now, from it, talking about, winners of the competition and, to see where those individuals are now. I mean, Samara Joy has
He's in
already
Paris right
taken
now.
off.
She's
She's
in
in Paris
Paris
right
right now. Yeah.
now. I mean, traveling the world now, has her debut album out, Jasmine Horn, of course, Grammy, and, doing her thing, and Surreal Aimee. Gosh, I mean, it's no wonder you guys are after, winning this coveted prize here. But what is it that you'd like to see for yourselves individually as a result of being in this competition, whether you win or not? What is it that you want to gain or glean from this experience? We'll start with you. Let's start with Thomas on this one.
Yeah, I think for me, it's really about just sort of enlarging, my territory,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of understanding what the visibility is like, and sort of going to the next level. I think the competition network or circuit is certainly a way to sort of get in front of the right people. So I think for more that strategy, I think that's more like the theory, but it's really just having a passion for the music and sort of being able to continue the legacy. I always tell my students in particular, you can't be an artist in the 21st century and not understand the impact that jazz has had on everything, from R&B, from hip hop, and so forth. And just to be able to share in that space and be a part of this legacy. And it's the 10th one,
Yes.
I think that just has significance in its own, in its own right. So for me, I think it's really about, like I said, just extending what I currently do on a greater mass. I feel like it's what I've been called to do. And every time I get a chance to perform, I feel like I'm fulfilling destiny. So.
Indeed. Lucky number 10. Love that. What about you, Arta?
I think I could also go together with Thomas in this one, because I feel the competitions. I mean, it's a competition, but at the end of the day, I think it's the opportunity to like be on the stage, to like do what you love. That's like for me, like that's the gift, because we're honestly, all of us are like lucky that we have this opportunity to like come to be together, to like see and hear each other. It's also like a workshop, because I know that like when all of you will enter the stage, I will learn from every single one of you. Like I'll take something from you within me that that I know will help me in the future for like other things that I'm doing. So I think it's like one thing is a workshop, but then just like the experience, networking, like meeting new people. I think that's always like a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and great point. Iron certainly sharpens iron. So it's great to place yourself in those situations where you can, absolutely learn from somewhere else. What about you, April?
It's just another just blessing to be in this hall that so many legends have been there. Like Shaka Khan was there the other day. Like it's just like,
Oh yes.
I mean, the magnitude of that alone is just powerful. And just being able to show your individual artistry to all these folks that are going to be there. You don't know what's going to happen, win or lose. Like you're
Right.
being put in the midst of Christian McBride, Diana Reeves. Like you don't know what can happen. And so just being able to be in that moment, in that space, being who you are, it's man, I'm looking forward to it.
Mhm. Andrea, what about you?
So many great reasons for being a part of it, and I think the most excited I am is just to be on stage. It's been so long since I've been on a beautiful performing arts type stage, and after last year. And then, like April said, just the moment and the reality of actually just being me and who I am and what I want to sing and the songs I chose, and getting just to enjoy that moment. And then that's just one reason. And then I get to meet all of you guys, and we get to hang out and talk shop and go to the concerts and listen and be sponges. And it's just such a great opportunity. And whatever comes from it, hey, that's great. But I'm not as focused on anything coming from it as I am just experiencing it and doing the best that I can, just bringing my best self, mind, body, and spirit to the moment of being there, and everything else will just happen as it's supposed to. I'm just excited to be one of us five.
Yeah, indeed. And last but not least, Vik.
Right on for everyone. I can share that last time I was really not comfortable, not well, not myself, and not in the moment.
Really? I
Really
never would have
out of
known
my
that.
comfort zone in this kind of setting. So I hope that the second time, I know where I'm putting my feet, and I hope that I can enjoy the moment, because it was really not so easy for me the first time. And if I think really about what professionally can bring such an opportunity, I'm thinking more performance, because aside from COVID, we are living in times when a lot of people are consuming music and arts digitally. And for me, music is about live music, about being there in the room with the people, about the conversation that happens. And I really, really, I just wish that all of us could, play every day and more and have that access to people and live audience.
Yeah, that's so honest of you, Vik, to tell us that you were nervous and you didn't feel like yourself. Speaking of that, what do you do to prepare for such a what can be an agonizing experience? Competitions are never really comfortable situations to be in. So what are you guys doing to sort of prepare for this and to get comfortable and ready to compete?
I'm happy to take advice.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, you guys. I don't think I've ever really been in a competition, but now that I think about it, and I am nervous.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
nervous.
natural.
I'm nervous to get up there and do my thing, but I think what I've been telling myself is there's only one me and there's only one you guys, and we just be us, be ourselves, and don't try to be anything we're not, because I think somebody told me this, whoever we are got us here.
That's right.
So just, I think just being ourselves, and at least that's what I'm trying to tell myself. So.
That's great. Be confident in who you are. That's great advice. Are you guys doing anything else to sort of prepare and get your minds right for this thing?
I'm kind of like treating it like a gig. It's like, you get up there, you prepare, obviously, but you allow yourself to just feel the moment and be who you are. Like, I think that's like the number one thing, because sometimes when you get into these kind of moments, you're like trying to think like, what will they want? Like they're gonna want to hear this or want to do that, but it's just like you got to take a step back and be like, this is who I am. Like, take it or leave it. Like, somebody's gonna like it someday.
That's right. I think you have a song about that.
I do.
Awesome. What about you, Arta?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like it's as also like April was saying. Yes, like it is a gig still. Like I mean, it's not different. It's the stage. It's the stage. Yes, like somebody is judging, but at the same time, I always like think about competitions. Yes, there are judges, but at the same time, it's like all of us, like our five souls, like we have so much to give and like so many different things, and that's a thing that like nobody can take away from us because that's who we are. And I think just like going there and like enjoy those 10-15 minutes, like whatever there is on that stage, and like take it all in and just like enjoy, have fun. I can actually share an experience that I had a couple of years ago when I was doing the Montreux Jazz Voice competition. I injured myself. Like I had a vocal hemorrhage in my
Oh no.
it was very terrible experience in that kind of sense, singing. And it was literally like a week, two weeks before the competition. And my doctor is like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. I said like, no, I know my voice, I'm gonna go and just do it and enjoy those 15 minutes. And I was on the stage, and like suddenly like I was so connected to my instrument that it just like happened. And for me it was like, I'm just gonna tell the story. I'm just gonna be me. Like I know that my voice is like not in the best place there yet, but what I can do is I can connect. I can tell the honest story that I have, because I love those songs. I know what they're about, and that's all. Like that's what we have to do. Like singers, we are storytellers. We just have to go on the stage and just share what we feel inside, and make it honest and present in the moment. And maybe, who knows, maybe some people like will really like resonate with that, and will take it along with them home.
That's beautiful. So were you able to push through that night?
So it resulted with me actually winning the competition.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was really
That's awesome.
crazy. but yeah, it's like something that like that competition like really changed a lot of things for me in terms of the way how I look at the competition. It's just like you be yourself, like no matter what like everybody's like say or like how your voice feels or how you feel. You just have to be yourself, because like if you're honest, then I think all the things will fall into place the way they should. Yeah.
I'm hearing a common theme here. Thanks for kicking that off, Andrea. All right, Thomas.
Yeah, for me, my prep for this is I sort of just blocked out a couple days because I had a crazy weekend. I had a show in Raleigh Saturday. I had a show in Nebraska Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
I flew back to Chicago Monday and just had, 2 days to get stuff out the cleaners. And so anyway, my preparation is just downtime. So I'm like,
Yeah.
let me just take a moment
And sit on down.
and settle down, relax, get some dog love,
Yes.
that sort of centers me as well. But I mean, I think I wouldn't be honest to say, you don't have some angst or nervousness that just comes with this type of situation. But you guys hit it all on the nail. Just be yourself. Be honest. I don't know anything else to be. My anxiety is not having my trio. Because I'm one of those
I
singers.
hear that.
I'll change it up. We rehearsed it some way, and then I'll feel another thing, and because they know me, they can pivot. So hopefully, the rehearsals go well, and I feel that same level of support. But I would say that's sort of, if I'm honest, that's where my anxiety is.
Yeah, I can understand how that could be anxiety. Wow. Okay. Vik, I know you were looking for advice, but you are in a position really where you can give, all of the finalists here advice because you placed third, and feeling as nervous as you did, you still placed. So how are you preparing this time around? Are you doing anything differently?
Yeah, I do. I am doing what Thomas is doing. I'm taking a few days off.
Good.
I arrived early just to, turn off all the other busy stuff, just to get over, not just the time zone, but also the whole, the thought process and the way I am and where I am in my mind. I think that last time was very tricky, just to arrive and boom, straight into a different kind of situation.
Oh, okay.
And it's true what everybody's saying. It's really important to kind of find the courage and the energy just to do what we usually do, right? Not to be thrown off. And to me, it was really not easy last time. So I'm trying to kind of keep things simple in terms of arrangement, in terms of songs, in terms of just not putting too much pressure on me or the band, because the rehearsing time is very short. And we only have 3 songs to kind of even show what we're capable of, which is very little, and it's split up in different pieces. So in a way, we're putting a show together without ever having worked together, which is exciting, right? I mean, we're going from one to the other, and we're building onto each other to the audience. I think it's great, and I'm really excited to hear everybody to be in that beautiful collective of good singers. And I'm super happy that there's a man this year.
Yay!
Yes, true.
Absolutely.
No promise.
Yeah.
All right. Andrea, you made a salient point though about, everything that you guys are is what brought you to this moment. Honestly, and all of you, collectively have accomplished so much already. I just kind of want you guys to give a glimpse of some of the things you've accomplished as of late, as artists up until now. What brought you here? What are the things? Because I know many of you have projects that are out right now and have won awards already. So, charting even on the jazz charts. So give us a little bit of who you are and what brought you here. Who wants to start this one?
I'll go.
Okay.
So normally I am performing with my group. It's called Sounds of A and R, and that spells out SOAR, SOAR, Sounds of April May, and Randall, who is my husband, who plays the trumpet. And so we're a jazz duo, and we've been performing since 2014. And fortunately, we've had so many wonderful opportunities. Like right now, we're touring with Thelonious Fairmonk III. So like right after this performance, we're going on the road with him.
Wow.
This has been such an amazing experience, being able to perform the music of his father, the great Thelonious Monk. And also, like our group, we just released a CD this year entitled Questions Left Unanswered. And it peaked at number 12 on the Jazz Week charts, and it also was picked up by Sirius XM. So we were super, super excited about that. And so it's kind of weird, actually. Thank you. It's kind of weird, like actually performing without Randall. Because when I was doing the interview with when we do like a video interview for the show, I kept saying we, and I'm like, oh no, I'm here by myself. Like, so I had to make that adjustment. But I'm so glad that I get to actually step out on my own, because it's been a while since I've sang by myself. So it definitely feels different, but it feels good. It feels good.
Wow, awesome. All right. Arta, I know you actually won the Artist in Residence grant at the Jazz Gallery, right?
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, that was another huge blessing like this year that like happened. So yeah, currently I'm actually currently also at the Jazz Gallery because I was just like practicing
right
and
now?
like doing, yeah.
Wow.
Like yeah, since the Rio Sakari who basically curates and like do this all for the artists, like I'm able like to use this space like to compose music, to rehearse here, to basically kind of live here. So I feel like a jazz gallery spirit.
Okay.
Feel like, but so currently, yes, after the competition, I will be performing here on the 26th and the 27th of November, kind of premiering my commission, which is like original music, called Searching for a Song, and it basically features 10 people, large ensemble. It's going to be harp, viola, violin, like a lot of beautiful musicians like coming together and like making my music to go out in this space and to be heard. But yeah, I mean, I'm a composer and a arranger and a vocalist, and for the past years I have been very, very lucky to basically be like performing my original music, and then also like doing jazz music, and kind of also combining that to like Latvian ethno jazz music, kind of mixing it all together. That's like basically arranging Latvian folk songs and making them sound a little bit more with a jazz flavor, because I love the improvisation aspect of it, and like altering some of the chords, making them more like more colorful. I would say.
Very nice. I can't wait to hear that. That's awesome.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of things, and I think like they always like the good thing is like we can always go on YouTube and like check out what we're doing. I think it's hard to like always like tell and narrow it down to like one thing, but basically 24/7 living inside of music.
Yeah. Eat, sleep, drink, breathe the music. That's what all of you do, really.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wants to go next.
I can go next. Yeah. My latest accomplishment is actually a vinyl.
Oh, yeah. We love vinyl.
My first one, so I'm super happy. And this is an album that came out during the pandemic, so we never had a chance to tour or present it. And then I said, oh, what the hell? I'm going to make a limited edition of vinyls. And actually, they almost sold out completely by now. So I'm extremely proud to have that kind of object, and to share it with everyone. And among accomplishments for me, really what I've enjoyed and appreciated most over the years is playing with more experienced musicians and with big bands. Mm-hmm. I've had quite a few experiences really like playing some of my music or, arrangements of my records with big bands and on big stages. And that's just a very rewarding experience to be backed by, a big band and have that sound and the power that they bring. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right.
I've been able to sing with some big bands as well, and I remember the very first time I did, the power of the drummer, because he was playing so loud, like a big band drummer as opposed to jazz trio drummer, and I just remember the enormity of the band, the sound of the big band, and it was so exciting.
Yeah.
So I've done some of that. I also got to sing with the orchestra back in I think it was about 10 years ago in Salem, Oregon, my hometown. But basically, I've done a lot of different things throughout the years with music, but it's always been what I've done for a living and for a love and a living, and performing in duo and trio and quintet situations. And I've got albums on for sale that you can find, that I've been a part of getting to do. And I've opened for people throughout the years, which is really cool. And after this, next month, I get to go to Mexico City and be one of the headliners at a festival, the Jazz de Polanco music festival there.
Very nice.
So I've always really wanted to do what I love, which is music, what makes me happy. But then literally I wanted it to take me places. Literally, just to involve travel. And so I get to come on Thursday. Well, actually, I leave at 3:30 this morning to the airport.
Gosh. I hope you're packed.
I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight, but yeah, I love it. I love music, and it's just, I could go on and, name things, but it's just my life, and I'm happy to do it.
One thing you didn't mention, though, is that you've done session work for Disney Pixar.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So humble.
I've gotten to do. That's one thing I should probably mention is that in addition to live performance, I love recording. Absolutely love it. And it's a different hat that we wear, I think, when we perform in front of a live audience, because they're watching us and we're interacting. There's live people. I think in the recording situation, it's you and a microphone, and you can wear your sweats and have your eyes closed the whole time if you want, or it's just a different experience. And so during the pandemic, I got some gear, and I got set up to do recording sessions in my apartment. So, but I've done a lot of movie soundtrack stuff and my own stuff. And then I love doing background vocals for people, stacked harmonies. Again, just love music, however it comes to me. But jazz is my favorite for sure. And that's I've found my footing in, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you guys are cool. Thomas, what about you?
I'm the same. Music is all I know. I mean, in terms of accomplishments, one thing I should point out, which I'm sure everyone probably can attest to, I also sing in other genres, professionally. Like, my last big collaboration was with a group called Vik Gečytė, New G.
Nice.
And I led a tune called Let There Be Peace. That album was nominated for a Grammy. So it was sort of my first, being on a Grammy nominated album. I made my first operatic debut with Los Angeles Opera back in 2014.
Wow.
Like I said, I've sort of been all over. I've done a lot of concert work, from working with the late Dave Baker, the Smithsonian Jazz Masterwork Orchestra, Baltimore Symphony, Royal Philharmonic in Australia. I could just, like everyone has said, I could just list and list. I mean, the bottom line, I just think everything has sort of led to this point. Although I sort of do, like I said, a lot of genres, I think the core of what I love and enjoy is certainly, the jazz, the gospel, the blues, sort of what I connect to the most in terms of my culture, how I was brought up, what I've been around, my greatest influence, so yeah.
Indeed. Gosh, you guys are incredible in bringing a wealth of experience and just awesomeness to this 10th annual Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition, the Sassy Awards. Man, I wish you all the best of luck. I'm glad I'm not a judge, because this would be very difficult. So thank you guys so much. I wish you all the very, very best of luck. Not that you need it, But
Thank
thank you
you.
all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thanks, Keanna.
welcome. Arta Jekabsone, hope I said that right. April May Webb, Vik Gečytė, G. Thomas Allen, and Andrea Miller, your finalists for this 2021 Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition. Be sure to come on out, bring your vaccination cards, wear your masks, and have a great time Sunday, November 14th at NJPAC. Go online to njpac.org to get your tickets. Before we close out here, we got a couple comments here from folks. Got a lot of folks saying, "Hey, April, go April." Shayla Sterling says, "Yes, enjoy that moment." John Hicks says, "Very impressive group. If you're not nervous, you're not prepared. These artists are prepared, and all will be winners." I love that. Sandria Johnson, Stuart Perla says, "We love you, Vic." Um, one question, and anyone can take this one here. John Hicks asks, "Is there a dream project with a musician or vocalist that's on your respective bucket lists?"
Sting for me.
Oh,
I'm a big fan. I did a tribute live stream during the pandemic.
yeah.
Fiasco, but I really enjoy.
Ooh.
That's awesome because we know Sting is a lover of jazz,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of folks have come out of Sting's band, and have done some major stuff in the jazz world. So that's a cool one, Sting.
I'm a major fan.
I would love to collab with Lettucey one day. That's my girl.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think I would do.
Go ahead.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Dream would probably be like Diane Sher
Ooh,
or
good one.
Layla Hathaway.
Whoa.
I think we would have fun because she's sort of on the lower, I'm on the high, but we both can switch, and I think it'd be fun.
I think I would want to like do something together with Bobby McFerrin.
Oh,
That's my yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
No other words. It's just
Yeah.
beyond.
incredible.
Diane Reeves for me.
Oh.
Even if I could just like sing a cappella, even just in a third part harmony with her, just to see how we sound like together. I saw her at the Segerstrom Center a couple weeks ago, and when she came out and she did an a cappella number to open the show, just on the edge of the stage without a microphone, just to the Performing Arts Center. It was just beautiful. I just or Stevie Wonder.
Ooh,
Yeah. So
another great one.
and Layla Hathaway too.
Ooh.
I just discovered I don't know if you guys have heard this. Her and Joe Sample doing "When the World Turns Blue."
Oh gosh.
Oh my god!
Listen
I'm
to
obsessed with
One
it
Day
right
I'll Fly Away. Listen
Oh,
to one too.
Playing it over and over. But yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm sure all of these artists, we have a question here. Are there some less commonly cited vocalists that have inspired you all? I'm sure some of the folks you've already mentioned here, but is there anyone else that you guys have sort of been inspired by that may not be a household name?
I do have a lot of people. I do really like, and I would say actually a lot of like my peers, like like my from the university, or also like the people that I've collaborated. And I definitely want to name Eric Leuthauser. He's from Germany, and we've actually done like a couple of projects together. But he has really pushed me out of the comfort zone of like we did a project just the two voices together, and we have an album just like a dual voice, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity to like work with him together, because that really like changed changed things up for me. How do I see voice sometimes? And another person also I could definitely say is a person that I used to study together with, but also now we're colleagues, Carlina Mama Gonzalez. She's an Argentinian singer, composer, and she actually gave me the courage to like more maybe like explore my own roots, which is the like Latvian, you know, because I came here as a student and I was like, oh, I'm so excited to study jazz and like do more of that. But she, like, hearing her performing made me like think, you know, I should actually go back to my roots and like try to find like my way of how can I bring that side of me when I'm performing. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So there's the two names, but there's a lot. There's a lot. But yeah.
I'm sure. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much. Before we go, I want you all to tell everybody, you know, where they can find out more about you, of course, get your music, all that stuff, so we can, you know, do our homework, do our research before the big day on Sunday.
I'll go. It's my website, AndreaMillerSings.com, and everything is linked from there. But that's the main place.
Okay.
So you'll find the bulk of my work on my website, soundsofandr.com. And that's where you can find me on social media as well. Sounds of A&R. So
Yes.
Well, for me, it's gthomasallenmusic.com. That'll source you to everything.
Cool.
My website is my full name, Vik Gečytė, but the easiest is just to type for Vik Gečytė into YouTube, and that's probably the best way to get introduced and say hello. And if you want a record, it's at pmrecords.com.
Nice.
And yeah, you can find me on artajekabsone.com, or yeah, also YouTube. Sometimes even like if you just like search my name on a Google, it will like direct you like straight to my website.
Well, that's good. Very good.
Come out, everyone, on Sunday. On Sunday.
Yes, Sunday, November 14th, the Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition takes place at NJPAC. Once again, get your tickets at njpac.org. I cannot wait to see all of you up there on that stage and doing your thing. So once again, good luck to you. Thank you for being here on The Pulse.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
See everybody on Thursday.
yeah.
Okay.